Hello, everyone. This is Melissa McCormick. I am the District Public Image Chair, and I want to welcome you to this video. This video is the presentation that I gave at PETS this last weekend, and I felt that rather than having you download the slides, which you could do, I thought I would also provide my commentary, and that way you can share it to with your clubs or have your clubs download it, but then the message is there. So here we go. President-elect training seminar. So this was conducted on Saturday afternoon. Okay. So I'm going to go right here and start with public image. And so as you know, I think you know that public image has been really brought to the forefront with regards to Rotary International and all of our clubs, our zones, our district, et cetera. And the reason behind that is, if you're in public image, you understand the reason behind that is so that we can get our message, a consistent message, but get our message out to the world, and which will also draw new members. And when we have new members, we also can make a greater impact. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a high level overview of what we're doing with public image and give you some tips along the way. Okay, so the first thing that I want to raise your attention to is the brand center. One of the great, there's a lot of great things about Rotary International, but one of them is the fact that they provide us with the tools that we need in order to make our jobs easier and to be sure we know the rules of the game, if you will. I conducted a survey last July when I first accepted this position, and I sent it to all of the club members and asked, if your club has a public image chair, fantastic. If they don't, why not, right? And most of the response that I got back was time. It takes time. We are not prioritizing public image to the top of the list because we have all this other stuff that we're doing. Fair question, or fair comment, excuse me. And the Rotary's Brand Center takes time. It gives you your time back. You can customize your club logos. You can, if you've got question marks on your club logo in general, like what color should the wheel be? What fonts do I use? What are the brand guidelines? It's all there in the Rotary Brand Center. If you have never been out there, go there. And you access it through myrotary.org. You do not access it through Club Runner if your club has a Club Runner account. Some of our clubs do not use Club Runner. So you go to myrotary.org and you sign in, register, and sign in there. You'll be able to find the Learning Center, which has a ton of learning modules. They're very, 30, 45 minutes, video recorded modules that are fantastic on every topic you can imagine. But they also have expert public image modules as well. They have new templates. So if you are familiar with the Brand Center and you think, I've been there, done that, I know what's there. They have new templates. They're constantly investing more dollars and more energy into creating more relevant templates that you can use for your promotional materials, etc. Rotary images are there. If for some reason you're not that great or your club is not that great about taking action shots and taking these images, use ones that are out there in the Brand Center, and you can use those in your promotional material. They are all properly approved through Rotary International. They have editing tools, and the bottom line to all of this, is to strengthen our brand. It's no different than McDonald's or Burger King or the Marriott. If you're at a Marriott in Kenya or in Europe, and you are in a Marriott here in Chicago, then you, for the most part, know what type of level of service that you're going to receive. It's like Ritz-Carlton, right? You're going to receive a high level. Well, it's no different with Rotary International. We want to be sure that we have a consistent brand that everybody is using so that we can strengthen, we can use all 1.4 million Rotarians around the world using the same logo, builds and strengthens our brand. Okay, so that's just a real quick snapshot of Rotary's Brand Center. Please go out there. You will have homework. But right now, we're going to have a little fun. I'm going to take a quiz. We got 2 questions, simple questions. So I want you to think about these. What is more important? What do you think is more important? Is it your club's website? Or is it your club's Facebook page? Think about that for a moment. Would you spend your time, energy, and resources towards your club website? Or should you focus on your Facebook pages or your social media pages, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn or otherwise, right? Which should it be? Think about that. Website or Facebook page or social media pages, which should you do? Or maybe you should do both. So think about that. Second question, when and how do you use the Rotary Wheel logo? When is it appropriate to use the Rotary Wheel logo? And when is it appropriate to use the Rotary International President's theme logo? Do I use them both? Do I put some on my social media pages and some on my website, some on my shirts? What's the correct answer? When do I use both? Now, if you don't know, you are not alone. Confusion set in, and it did with our committee too. So we established our committee last August timeframe, and we went through these exact same questions, and we were all confused until Kathy Schmidt, who went through all 43 clubs, and she did a social media audit, and she audited everybody's website. She audited everybody's social media pages, and she found various things. She found that we use the presidential logo sometimes, and sometimes we didn't. Sometimes some of the websites had old previous presidential logos on them. Some of them didn't use the wheel. Maybe you did use the wheel, but there was confusion all the way around. Some were active and some were not. So having said all of that, our committee has come up with a training strategy. Based on the results from the audit, we will be establishing 4 main training sessions starting sometime after RILA. It'll probably be June-ish that we'll launch our first training session. And these are the topics we're going to address initially. We'll talk about websites, and we'll talk about, well, how do you drive your traffic there? Is it still, our website still relevant? And what logos do I use? What's the branding? What's the image? What's best in class? And how do I draw people into my website to reach a greater audience? We'll talk about Rotary branding guidelines. Do we use our Rotary wheel externally, internally, both? What about that presidential logo? Well, I'm just going to give you the answer because I gave the answer in the session, and that is that you want to use the Rotary wheel externally. So if you are promoting externally to non-Rotarians, then you use the wheel and only the wheel. The presidential logo is intended for internal purposes. So when you are promoting or communicating with Rotarians, it is okay to use the presidential logo because we all know what it's about. And this year's theme, being Imagine, is pretty strong, and it helps to kind of rally the troops, right? So it gets us all aligned together. And so that's fine, but it confuses the external marketplace. It confuses those people that are non-Rotarians, and we don't want any confusion in that marketplace. We want to strengthen the brand image and brand integrity of the Rotary wheel. We will be talking about social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Nextdoor, right? Does everybody have a Nextdoor in your neighborhood? Should you be promoting on that to find members, to tell them about our meeting, tell them about our events, inviting the community to join us on our community events. We'll be talking about press releases and everything that there is to know about press releases. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, I'm hoping you do, but on the district website, there is a public image tab. And if you go there, we will be populating it as resources become available. But all of these training sessions will be conducted via Zoom and will be recorded. We will then take those recordings and upload them to the public image site library located on District 6420's website. Okay, so stay tuned for more information regarding our training sessions. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the district newsletter, The Actuator. The Actuator is our newsletter. It is issued every other month. So the most recent one was issued in February. The next one will come out in April. This schedule you can find on the district website under the public image tab, where it tells you the months when it will be issued, the deadline for submissions, and then the approximate published date. Now, I want to really highlight the Gmail account that we have listed here, 6420newsletter@gmail.com. Send all of your submissions to that email address. Do not send it to me. Do not send it to the editor. Send it to this Gmail account. And the reason is that then we keep it all in one place, and submissions do not get lost with everybody else sending, me messages or sending it to the editor. So please bookmark that Gmail account. But again, you can find this. You don't even have to take a screenshot of this. You can find this on the district website under the public image tab. The other thing you can find on there is this link right here that provides some submission guidance. Some of the feedback we received from the survey last year was that the submissions and the newsletter was great, but people wanted to know more. They wanted to know the impact. They wanted to know the best practices of a certain event or a fundraising or some lessons learned. So we've put together a form that helps walk you through the pieces that we want you to give us so that we can be consistent in our communication and provide a valuable newsletter to our members. Okay? Sounds great. Now, I am a data gal. I love data, and I want to be sure that the newsletter that we're providing is so valuable. Like if I were to imagine what a valuable newsletter it would look like, it would be one where you read it from top to bottom and you cannot wait until it comes out. In fact, you don't even wait. You send emails to me or to the editor and say, hey, when's it coming out? Because I cannot wait to read it. That would be awesome. So I watch these stats. And if the stats kind of go one way or the other, I want to know why. How can I make this the most valuable newsletter that you receive? And, it takes, if you've never done a newsletter before, it takes a lot of time. So we don't want to waste our time any more than wasting your time by sending you something that clogs up your email inbox, right? So these are the stats from the December newsletter, and we have an open rate of 34%. I want to draw your attention to the 7% undelivered and errors. So we have a 7%, 102 recipients that either the email got blocked for some reason or the email address is inaccurate. So I need you to go back to your clubs and check your club runner email addresses, please. But we have an open rate of 34% in the December newsletter. Over the weekend, on Saturday morning, I looked at the stats for the February newsletter, and it was at 38%, which is absolutely out of this world, according to me. But I thought, is it? It sounds pretty awesome, but I don't really know that it is. So I went to my friend Google or DuckDuckGo and said, hey, what's an industry average for an open rate of a newsletter? And up came an article from MailChimp, who is in the business of newsletters. And they said that industry average is about 21%, and we're at 38%. So that is fantastic. Kudos to everybody. Thank you so much for opening it. And please promote it to your club members, but we'll keep an eye on it. If it's not valuable for you, I need you to tell me what would be so that we can continue to evolve and improve our newsletter. This is the District 6420 Public Image Committee. There are a couple other members of the committee that we use as resources that are not listed here, but these are the mainly because we're focusing in these areas right now. But as the committee ebbs and flows, we will be bringing in other people who are subject matter experts. But we've got Tony Lucas from who is everything Facebook, Beth Costa, who is handling our Instagram account, David Dozier, our website or our webmaster. Beth Costa is our current district newsletter editor. Kathy Schmidt, I mentioned her before. She's our brand trainer and our auditor. And then we have Gary Rowe, who is our press release guru. And he actually has written the template on how to do a good press release. And that is uploaded on the public image tab on the district website. So thank you all for your hard work. You guys have been so amazing to work with. So what's new for 2022? So in pre-pets, Laura went through our strategy. And so this is what's new for us. Encouragement for all clubs to appoint a public image chair and public image committee. So consider yourself encouraged. Yes, yes, appoint a public image chair and public image committee. A public image chair that is active and committed. That's the kind I need. I don't just want a name. I want somebody who is active and committed. And quite frankly, all members of Rotary should be public image ambassadors, right? So we all are in the business of public image. And so even though you've got that one person that is leading the public image efforts, everybody should be engaged in talking about public image at every meeting and every chance that they get. All right. The next one is the creation of a public image award. Yes, I don't know right now what it's going to look like, but expect that in the next Rotary year. The development of a district calendar with club and district events. That is easy. When you put your events, if you are a Club Runner customer and you put your club events on Club Runner, there's a box down at the bottom that says publish on the district calendar. Click that, please do. Then it automatically populates our calendar. And then David Dozier doesn't have to go and reinvent the wheel. So that will help us get to our goal a lot faster. And finally, training for public image chairs and committee members. We've already talked about that. That is on the docket for June-ish. All right, so here we go. We got some homework as we wrap up. The first thing I want you to do is appoint a public image chair who is active and committed. The second thing I want you to do is ask that public image chair, do they know the brand center? And have them present the brand center to your club. As I mentioned, every Rotarian is in the business of public image, and we all need to know what are the right colors, what are the right fonts, if I want to do a different logo for a special event, can I? And if so, how do I do that? Guess what? There's a tool in the Brand Center that will help you do that. Number 3, I want you to check your members Club Runner email addresses and make sure they're accurate so we can reduce that 7% down. And then finally, submit an event to the actuator during your Rotary year. Again, those instructions are on the public image site or the public image tab on the District 6420 site. And with that, I am going to congratulate all of you for stepping up and being a president-elect and soon to be president. I'm just really honored to work with all of you, and I'm looking forward to the change that we can all make in District 6420 and the world.